For this Pogo series, if you haven't done Pogos before, I'll first take you through the technique and what we're trying to get out of it. And I highly recommend you kind of just do them on the spot a little bit to get the feel for what we're trying to do, because it's not just a regular jump. And if you treat it that way, we're not getting the right stimulus in terms of what we're trying to achieve with these Pogo variations. The defining characteristic with Pogos is ground contact time. So when we land, we're not trying to wind up with our knees and then jump up as high as possible, turning it into a bit of a squat jump. We're actually trying to get kind of minimal knee bend as possible. You will break at the knees at some point as well, and that's fine. But again, we're not trying to wind up to do big jumps. The ground contact time needs to be really short. So as you start to go higher, if you're having to spend way more time to get up, it means you're kind of not reacting with the ground the way we want you to and having everything feel nice and springy. So just dial back the intensity a little bit. From what we're trying to do is go feet about shoulder width apart. You can start with your hands at your side to get them out of the way and just think about what's happening at the ankle. We're basically going to perform our jumps, and when we do, I want you to think of your ankles almost like as paddles. So as you jump up, you try and get your toes up towards the ceiling like so, and then as you land, I want you to think about attacking the ground. So you're trying to almost wind that paddle down to slap the ground and then go straight back up into your next one. So you see here, toes up towards the ceiling. And then again, I'm going to hit down as I attack the ground. A couple of things that you want to make sure that you're not doing. Try to resist the temptation to just stay up onto your toes. The heel can touch the ground. And as you get higher and higher and more intense, it'll eventually have to touch the ground. The intention isn't to stay on your toes, but what we want to try and do is land on that forefoot, land on, say, the first half of your foot. So I'm going to land toe, the heel's going to eventually kind of come down, and then I'm going to snap back up, and then toe points up towards the ceiling again. So trying to avoid just doing this, I'm going to land, heel will eventually follow, and then I'm going to spring up and then point my toe towards the ceiling. Once you've gotten comfortable on the spot, this is where we actually do this combination, and it's simply just going to be to add some forward momentum. You're simply just going to start small, and we're going to go forward, adopting that same technique. So go to your repetitions. Once you get to the other side, you're simply going to go back. Now with this one, you do want to make sure you're rolling onto your heel and then coming up rather than just staying on your toes and coming back this way. So again, you go forward. Now we're going to come back all the way through for our repetitions. And then now we're going to simply do the same thing side on. So side on all the way for our reps. And then again, we're going to come back for our required repetitions. A couple of notes on intensity. Doing Pogo variations is a really good opportunity for you to figure out how your ankle, your knee, and basically your tendons and ligaments are feeling as you attack the ground. So try and resist the temptation to just start really pinging them too early and just feel out, like, where does it actually feel good? Where am I still springy? Where does the movement look good? But more importantly, how does the ankle feel when I'm doing it? How does my knee feel when I'm doing it? Because you might find that you can go up to here, but really if you take your time and do this, and as you're building up, you realize, oh, actually my left ankle feels a bit funky there. You know what I mean? My right knee doesn't quite tolerate that there, and it feels a bit off. So really, you can do this, but your tolerance level is probably here. So take your time to build that over time. With all of these variations, we're not looking to send as high as possible. It's not why we're using these Pogo variations. We basically want to start small, and over the weeks though, your tolerance level will become greater and greater. So even though you'll perceptively be going a little bit higher, it'll still feel really light to you because you've taken the time to put in the groundwork and get that adaptation that we're after. So again, I can't stress enough, start small, build the tolerance over the weeks, and every time you do it, you just find you'll have that little bit more spring, and you'll just be able to go that little bit higher and higher. But again, it won't feel intense to you, and you would have gotten that right adaptation from the tendons and ligaments that we're after to give you the tolerance to be able to kind of spring and continue to pop high.